Hello, and come on in, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to my Facebook Live for Friday. Coming to you a little bit later today. So glad to have you here if you're able to tune in. My name is Felicia, and I am the owner and founder of She Fire Fitness, the compassionate and smart fitness and nutrition coach, helping prime time women move with power and purpose throughout life. So, apologize for being a little bit late today. Normally I'm here at noon, and I appreciate y'all's patience. As some of you may know, I'm dealing with a little bit of an injury right now. I had to go to the chiropractor, so I'm here, and that's what's important. So if you are online right now, if you would shoot me a heart emoji or just a thumbs up or something, let me know you're here. But otherwise, we are going to jump right in. Our topic today is why you can't lose weight, part 2, carbs, proteins, and fats. Oh my. Okay, so what I have done, my intention was to do this as a webinar, why you can't lose weight. But again, I appreciate y'all's patience. I had some issues with COVID and taking hubby to the doctor and doing lots of different things like that. Was not able to conduct it as I had planned. So you get the benefit of having it on my Facebook Live and getting access to some really good tools and information and resources to help you on your fitness journey. So to recap, real briefly, from last week was our first session. My goal is to do probably 4 sessions on my Facebook Live. What we covered last week was an introduction, and the subtitle to Why You Can't Lose Weight was What's Willpower Got to Do with It? So if you missed that one, just go back and take a look at it in the Girl Get Your Sexy Back group, which is where I broadcast this. And if you're not in the group, get in the group. Okay, I'm also posting them on my YouTube channel, so you can just go and take a look at those. I'm going to put them in a playlist so you can have access to them there as well. So let's see, just going to kind of check my phone and see if I have any comments, but I'm just going to continue. What we're going to talk about today is what I'm calling Metabolism 101. So, we're just going to jump in. Let me show you this first. This is an equation, energy in equals energy out. And that is a picture of how food comes into our body, and if we are not losing weight, we're not gaining weight, then everything is equal. It's, you know, we maintain the same weight. However, if our energy in, or you can think of it as calories in, is greater than the energy out, then we have a surplus and we gain weight. This is where we want to be. The energy in is less than the energy out, and we have what is called a caloric deficit. And that is what we're shooting for when we want to lose weight. Very simple equation. However, it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy to implement. If you've been on the weight loss journey and having challenges with it, you already know that. But I want to just show that equation so we can make sure we understand in our mind that, you know, if we're not losing weight, it's because we don't have that caloric deficit. So I want to make that real clear. And also, we know that even though I'm showing this as energy in equals energy out, or calories in equals calories out, it's so much more than that. Food, it's the energy in, is so much more than that. It is how we fellowship with people. It's how we console ourselves. It's how we enjoy life. So there's many different factors that can impact how we lose weight, gain weight, and so forth. And I do want to remind you, I shared with you that I have a self, how can I say, a self audit that you can do. If you want to take a look at that and kind of go through a checklist of some things that might be impacting in a negative way your ability to lose weight, just let me know in the comments below. So, moving right along, we talked about the energy balance. We talked about how we want to be in that caloric deficit. Now I want to go over with you the macronutrients that come from our food that are the energy for our bodies, which is how we stay alive. So, macronutrients, you probably heard that term before. And those are the big categories of nutrients, macro, that our body needs to do what it does to keep us alive. Carbs, proteins, and fats. So let's go over those. I want us to just have a general understanding of how they work in our body. So carbs, and you probably know carbs, bread, rice, the kind of things that maybe come to your mind. But carbs can be used in 3 different ways in our body: as immediate energy. That is, it turns into glucose. You may have heard that term in our bloodstream. It can be used as stored energy, which the term that you may have seen is glycogen or stored fat. And the glucose is stored as fat when our body doesn't need it for energy, or when it has stored as much as it can, because the body can't store but so much so-called glycogen in our body. So that's something to keep in mind. So when we have too much glucose and we used up the capacity to store it, it's going to store it as fat. Now let's talk about proteins. Proteins are also used in 3 different ways. They're used to build stuff. And when I say stuff, things like enzymes, hormones, tissues, muscles, etc. So the proteins in our food is used to build stuff. It's used for energy if we're low on fuel. It's not the preferred source. Or it's stored as fat. So there's a common thread here. When we have excess, it's stored as fat. The third category are fats. So fats are also used mainly in 3 different ways. They're used as part of cell membranes. They can be stored as energy in the liver or fat tissue, and they can also be used in the form of ketones, and it's a real complex process, which of course we're not going to go through here, but they can also be used as energy. And I think let me go through that again, make sure I clarify that. So fats can be used as one part of many cell membranes. They can be stored as energy in the liver or in fat tissue, so stored as fat, or they can be used as energy in terms of being converted into glucose. So we've got our carbs, we've got our proteins, we've got our fats. The main thing that I want you to understand from that is that any excess from those 3 categories is stored as fat. If you got any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment below. And I don't know that I'll get to it in this session, but I'll go back and take a look at it and see how I might address it in the future. So again, that's the main takeaway. Anything in excess is stored as fat. Now, there's so many different diets that you can go, so-called diets you can go on: low fat, low carb, high fat, etc. And there's different fads that come about from time to time. The most important thing that I do with my clients is help you create or develop a sustainable, I don't even want to use the word diet, but in a sustainable manner of eating and nourishing your body that works for you. And that could be low carb, it could be high protein, but it's really based on your goals and what works for your body. Something that may work for your friend or something you read about on social media may not work for you, because everybody is different. There are certain government ratios that are recommended that is a good starting place for your carbs and your proteins and your fat. And you may have seen this, and they're acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges. The acronym is AMDR, and they're set forth by the Institute of Medicine of the National Academies. And here's the ranges that are generally accepted. Again, you may need something a little bit different based on your body and your goals. But 45 to 65% of calories from carbs, 10 to 35% from fats, and 10 to 35% of calories from proteins. Again, the best ratio for you could differ. It could differ based on your goals, based on the stage of life you're in. It could differ based on chronic conditions that you may have, diabetes, different aspects of health that might cause you to need to be in a different category. So, as I conclude, the main point that I want you to be aware of in terms of looking at that equation, the basic energy equation, energy in equals energy out for steady state. In order for us to lose weight, we've got to be in the caloric deficit. We've got to have our energy in, the food that we eat, be less than the energy out. And we're going to be talking about the energy out next week. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with that right now. But here's the key point I want you to be aware of. You control 100% of that first side of that equation, the energy in side. So that's where you can have some impact. You can also impact the energy out. And again, I will be talking about that next week. Because that is how ultimately you're going to lose weight, and not just do it in a kind of a quick hit, non-sustainable manner, but to do it in such a way that it fits into your life in the way you live and eating the foods that you enjoy, so that you're not feeling like you're depriving yourself or not enjoying your food, not enjoying life, not enjoying your friends and family when you get together with for gatherings and things of that nature. Okay, so I am going to conclude. Again, this is at least a four-part series that I'll be doing on why you can't lose weight. Today we talked about carbs, protein, and fats. Oh my. And we're primarily looking at what I call the first part of that equation, the energy in, the calories in, the one part that is totally and completely under your control. You're going to discover next week that that other part of the equation, the energy out, there's some things that you control and there's some things that you don't. So we want to be aware of that. And again, when I work with my clients, my intent is to help you have a sustainable way of eating, not a fad diet, not drinking shakes all day long or eating watermelon all day long or whatever the fad is at any given point in time, but being able to create, being able to fuel your body, to provide energy for your body in a way that nourishes you, that satisfies you, where you are enjoying your life to the fullest. Okay, well, it has certainly been a pleasure chatting with y'all today. Give me your comments, and I hope to see you next week. Make sure that if you're not in the Girl Get Your Sexy Back group, that you do join us. And I will see you guys next week. And again, thanks so much for your patience with me. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.